Hello. Hello. I'm getting my block. You might want to have a block. I don't know where my block is. You would think I would know where my block is. Oh, here's my block. So you might want a block. You might want a book for your head. Hello and welcome to Yoga for Recovery. I want to adjust something here because I look funnier than normal. It takes a lot for me to say that. There we go. All right. I always look at the shadows behind me. We'll try this again. Welcome to Yoga for Recovery. It is Monday night. I don't even know. Oh, I think it's February 28th. It's the last day of February. It's crazy. It's actually getting a little warm in Wisconsin, although not that warm. We're going to do two poses tonight, and we're going to be moving kind of back and forth with them to build a little mobility, especially in our hips, but moving forward and backwards. So we're going to start in a puppy pose. And in puppy pose, it's kind of a cross between a child's pose and downward dog. So block or book something with a little bit of head, a little bit of space, because we're going to possibly put your forehead on it. I'm going to put it in the middle of the mat. So first of all, in puppy pose, you're going to get your hips over your knees, extend your arms, and start sinking down. And this is where the block comes in handy. All right, so first of all, let's work on our breathing. Inhaling and exhaling through our nose, first of all. Good, and then get into our belly. And with every exhale, try to see if your shoulders, if your collarbones come a little bit deeper towards the mat. So I'm inhaling and coming up, exhaling and sinking a little bit farther down. So we're creating a back bend, but it's really more of a stretch in our shoulders. And we will eventually come in to a child's pose as we do this rotation, or the sequence. So the key is to simply move with your breathing. So I'm lifting up my shoulders on the inhale, and on the exhale, I'm letting them fall a little bit farther. And that's all we're really trying to do, is just move with your breathing and breathe with your movement. And the two complement each other, and you get a little bit farther into each. All right, so now we're going to come forward into a Sphinx pose. And in the Sphinx pose, we'll come forward onto our elbows and have your hands in front of you. All right, so palms are down. I'm going to turn forward, and all we're trying to do in this is lengthen our spine as if you're inhaling. Well, not as if you're inhaling, but inhale, and then as you exhale, feel as if someone were pulling your head by your ears and lengthening your spine. So I'll go sideways again. And so inhale and relax. Exhale and lengthen. And also try to breathe into your belly. So you're just trying to lengthen and move at the same time. So this is some pretty gentle movements we're doing here. Good. Now let's roll back to a puppy, and I'm going to skip the block this time. And I'm going to do more of a shoulder stretch and just kind of let my arms come out as far as they can. And just work on my shoulder movement. So I'm not trying to create an arch in my back. I'm trying to lengthen my back. Same way that I was doing with the Sphinx, is trying to lengthen and open up my joints in my shoulders and in my back. Feel this a little bit in my glutes. So I'm not trying to drop my collarbones to the sense where I am creating a back bend. I'm dropping them so that I can stretch out my shoulders a little more. All right, now this time we're going to come into a Cobra pose. So my hands stay on the mat, and this time I'm just going to roll my hips back. So now my hip bones, my hip flexors are coming towards the mat. My hands are basically underneath my shoulders. So if this is hard on your wrists, then just come back into a Sphinx pose. So what we're trying to do here is the same thing in Sphinx, is just lengthen our torso. But we're in Cobra here, we're just trying to get a little bit deeper in with our hips as well. There's a little bit of work happening in our triceps because that's holding us up, but we're going to relieve that in a second by simply coming back into a child's pose. All right, let's come back into a child's pose. So now we're creating more of an arch in our back. So my hips are sinking back towards my feet. So my butt is coming back towards my feet. And I'm still extending my arms. You can also do this, and this is harder for me, is having your head on the ground and having your arms behind you. But that feels much more challenging. I'd rather have my arms in front of me. If that's a challenge, you can keep your elbows on the mat as well. So the movement here is to inhale, and the exhale, bringing the top of your hips down just a little bit. Again, to try to straighten your back, and you'll feel this in your upper hamstrings into your glutes. As if you're trying to flatten your back. There's a lot of people who could be pretty tired on Monday night from skiing the Berkey this weekend. Congratulations to anybody who finished the Cordy or the long one, the Berkey. It's a lot of people in one space on skis. It always kind of freaks me out. That's the only reason I don't do it. Did it once. It was a lot of fun. But it's a lot of people on skis. It's like getting into a swimming race, like a start of a triathlon. It's like, no, thank you. Riding in a bunch in a bike race is hard enough. Cobra again. And again, we're just trying to lengthen this on our exhale. The inhale, you can lift up your hips a little bit. The exhale, just lengthen. And again, if this is hard on your wrists, just come down into a Sphinx pose. All right, and let's push back. Let's do a couple. We're going to be keeping these shorter. So I'm not really moving my knees out like I normally would do in a child's pose. I'm going to have about 4 breaths. Cobra. In regular class, we would often do this into a downward dog and into Cobra and stop at a plank, get a lot of core work in, and push back. We're going to do this one more round. Inhale up, exhale, settle down. Good, last one, coming forward into a Cobra, about 4 breaths. Breathe into your belly. Good, all right. Let's come into a seated position. We'll come into butterfly. And we'll be here just a moment. Just open up the hips, reach forward. Inhale, come back. Exhale and reach forward. Back as well as your inner thighs. And last one. All right, that is it for Yoga for Recovery. If you have questions, come and let's have a virtual coffee. Go to the simplendurancecoaching.com, go to contact, and then you can connect there with a virtual coffee. We can chat about your adventure goals and your endurance goals for the year and see how you're doing. All right, take care of yourself.